Paranormal View. The Paranormal View on the Para X Radio Network with your host, Henry Foister, Craig Rupp, and Jeffrey Gould. The Paranormal View.
Welcome everybody to the Paranormal View right here on the Para X Radio Network. Want to welcome everybody tonight. The chat room is full and want to welcome those who are listening from around the world. We appreciate everybody being here tonight on this Halloween weekend, and we are going to try and have some ghost stories for you and tell you all kinds of things. We got Craig Rupp with us tonight.
Hey, Henry.
And we got Jeffrey Gould with us.
Hey, everybody.
And Craig is going to be live at Gettysburg, and we'll get him to tell all about where he's at and what's going on there and talk to the people he's got with him in just a minute. But if you're listening from somewhere other than here on Para-X, you can do so by coming to para-x.com. There'll be a little show chat button on the right-hand side of the page. Click on it and click on the player button on the top of the page, and you'll be in with all these wonderful people, and you can interact with us by asking questions of the guests and chatting with all these wonderful people that's already here in the chat room. So come on over, have a great time. I do want to say that I did survive Hillview Manor. Had some.
Well, we thought this was being hosted by an EVP, so we weren't.
No, we.
That was pretty good, Henry. I didn't know you karaoke. You should open every show like that.
Oh, is that right? Did I do a good job?
I was telling people telling people in the chat room that years ago, back when Doctor Who conventions were all over the country, I was part of a circle of friends, and we actually performed a folk song version of Monster Mash using Doctor Who lyrics.
Wow.
And we got a standing ovation. It was awesome.
Well, good, great.
Yeah, my best friend Sand Lead and his then girlfriend, eventual wife, and I were his backup doing the "ow ow," and instead of Monster Mash, it was the word exterminate that the Daleks used, and I greased up my larynx so I could do the Dalek voice properly.
Oh, we got that one on here too.
Oh, don't remind me. That didn't work out quite as well as I'd like, but.
All right. I tell you, we're going to have a great show tonight, being in Gettysburg. And I understand that they're also getting some snow there.
Oh, yeah.
Getting early winter, you might say. It has been cold here, too, for the last couple of days. Just remind you that it feels like we're going to have a cold winter, and I feel that we're going to be getting lots of snow. So,
I know they're getting snow in New Jersey, aren't they?
Oh, they're getting it all up the East Coast like that.
Trick or treat, I guess, was our trick, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
I don't remember snow on Halloween since I was a child. We actually had flurries on one Halloween that my brother and I went out on.
It snowed here for Halloween before, so no, it's rare, but it has happened.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Tonight we got some guests, Craig. Why don't you take and let everybody know where you're at and introduce the people that you have, and we can get started in finding out about everything in Gettysburg.
Well, we are now at the Twin Sycamores, and the Twin Sycamores, this was a building that when I first started coming down, I took a ghost tour, and they told us about the blue lights in the windows. And every time I've been coming down here since '96, when I go by this house at night, I always either stop or slow down, and I catch myself looking for these blue lights. And now I'm privileged, thanks to the owner tonight, a guest who's here, Mike Gladfelter. I am now inside, and I'm like a little kid. This is so great. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Very glad to be here, and welcome to everyone to the Twin Sycamores, now known as Mr. G's Ice Cream, but formerly also known as the John Weinbrenner House for the family that lived here during the Battle of Gettysburg.
Mike, tell us a little bit about the house, when you bought it, and
Sure. We purchased the home in January of this past year. We began operations on Memorial Day of our ice cream business. The home, of course, has a fantastic Civil War history. It was built in 1819, so we're 192 years old here. The house bears great witness to the battle. On the south side of the home, there are bullet holes from the battle in the home as well as in the shutters.
I remember that.
Yes, yes.
That's
So
so
it's
awesome.
It's really a very, very well preserved property from the time of the battle. We're very privileged to have it.
Now, you say the house is over
192 years, if my math is correct. 1819 is when it was built.
Well, that's really fairly old. I know there's this little town just north of me. There's a hotel restaurant that's up there. It was built in 1816.
Yes, yes. It was originally used as a tannery. The property was somewhat larger at that time. It's been a single-family home through most of its life. But of course, most recently now we have our business here, and it's really the first time in many years that the public has had a chance to come in and see this historic home. And people are very receptive, and everyone is interested, of course, in the history as well as the ghost question. I get it all the time.
You did a beautiful job. Beautiful. This
Thank
place
you.
is amazing.
You.
So
And I get to sit in here. This is so cool.
Thank you.
Craig's in love with that, I tell you.
He's been very nice, very
Doug
nice to
wants to
work with.
Craig's in love with anything Gettysburg and Antietam, so
Oh yeah. Well, now
Or historical.
it's
Exactly.
true. Gettysburg is probably one of the, I guess, premier places for the Civil War that you'd want to go to.
Well, it was the largest battle of the war. Of course, it took place over 3 days in July of 1863. We had close to 150,000 combatants in this town, and the town was only about 2,400 people at the time. So you can imagine what an overwhelming occurrence it was for the people who lived here.
Now, Mike, you got from somebody that the Confederates actually
Yes,
was in this.
that's correct. In the
establishment.
part of town that we are in, of course, as the battle began on the west end of town, the Confederate troops pushed the Union troops back through Gettysburg. They went right past this home and retreated up to Cemetery Hill. So this area all became occupied by Confederate soldiers during the battle. It was here across the street. You can you can see the homes and how they are bullet scarred from the intensity of the fighting. So this house, and the great thing is that we do have a firsthand account of what happened here, and I shared that with you a little bit, Craig.
Yes, could you tell us about that?
Sure.
Was it a colonel or an officer?
Yes, it was one of those things. One of the seminary students, Gettysburg Seminary, which is where the battle started on the west end of town. Of course, everyone fled there. He met a friend of his a short distance from here on Cemetery Hill. He invited him down to this home just to, quote, be safe. Well, about the time they got here, the Confederates end up taking over this end of the area. But the wonderful thing is that this seminary student, his name is Martin Luther Culler, wrote a firsthand account of what he experienced while the battle was going on. The family, the Weinbrenner family, spent the battle in the basement during the days. Of course, they would come up in the evenings when it was safe. But at nighttime, they would be in the basement, and he wrote, of course, that they would hear bullets crashing through the windows and hitting the walls and all those sorts of things. He also tells us of a wounded Confederate officer who was brought into the home and laid in the hallway. He was not mortally wounded, but he was brought in. And he talks about the interaction between the family, the Weinbrenner family, and the Confederates who were in this home. He tells us that the property was looted, as many of the properties in this town were, especially for
Right.
food. They were hungry. They're searching for any kind of supplies they can get their hands on, and they took food. But they also took some of the valuables from this family. And of course, they were quite upset, and they complained to this officer. The officer wrote a note to General Early, who's right behind us on Culp's Hill, and according to this Martin Luther Culler, all of the valuables were returned to the family through this note that was sent through to General Early. So just a fascinating human interest story.
And I'd like to find out the name, and as well as
Absolutely.
you're searching for the name of that
Absolutely.
officer.
We were trying to find that out today. It'd be
It was
wonderful
a very
if we could.
respectful thing to do.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Well, now
So that's great.
you said the house still had bullet holes and things like that in it. I take it that wasn't refurbished or redone since the war.
No, the brick is the original brick. Of course, there's been new mortar put in place and things like that. But the brick is original, as well as the shutters, which is extraordinary to have the wooden shutters still available. And I believe it's because they are shielded by a porch on the south side of the house.
Oh. Well, now, during the battles, was there ever any documented deaths on the property?
I do no. As far as I have been able to research, I have not come up with documented deaths on the property. However, it's difficult to imagine that the house, because of the size of the home, was not used as a hospital. Most of the homes in town were for a very short time after the battle. The churches, of course, were used as well until they set up a larger camp just east of town to bring all the wounded to sometime after the battle.
Yeah, chances are, Henry, from the stories that you hear, people have died in this house. Absolutely.
You would think so, because most of those homes, as I said, had to be used. When there were 50,000 casualties over the 3 days, 7,000 killed outright, this town was overwhelmed with injured and dying.
Was this similar to like that triage scene in The Gone with the Wind, with that long crane shot of all the people lying out by the train station?
I'm sure that there would be places where it would be. I know for a fact all the churches in town were used as triage sort of operations, and there's some that do a wonderful job of presenting that story. And I would imagine the same could have been true in a home like this, or perhaps this home as well.
Now, I do want to remind everybody that if you do have questions rather of the guest, you can private chat Jeff, Craig, or myself with the questions, and we'll get them right over to the guest and get them asked.
So far, only Ariana was curious as to who was actually there, and I just indicated it was Craig, and that Henry and I are in our respective homes where it's relatively warm.
It is not ice cream weather here, let me tell you.
You make snow cream now, don't you?
Yeah. I can keep it right outside without it melting.
All right.
Now, Henry, interesting enough, Mike, the Rupp House.
Yes.
This way or this way?
It is just south of us, diagonally up the street.
The Rupp House is just right down the street, right across the street.
Yeah, that Craig Rupp and the Rupp House. That's right. There should be a tie there somewhere.
Yeah, you would think. I'd go over and ask them. Say, look, my last.
They're never open.
Oh.
I think they're only open on the weekends, aren't they?
In the summer, I'm sure they're widely open. Now, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'll bet they accept mail. You can actually write to them or call them up or something.
That's a very historic name in the town. The Rupps have been here a long time.
Now, when you first went in there, was the house known as to be haunted when you first bought it?
Yes. When we would tell people where we were looking to locate our ice cream business, that is one of the first things we would get from local people. Oh, that house is haunted type comments. I've always wanted to own a Civil War property. And, of course, we saw this, and it seemed like the right thing for what we wanted to do. But shortly after we bought it, I remember going home at night and laying down thinking, how in the world am I going to be there late at night all by myself with all these ghosts hanging around? And, you get those shivers up your spine kind of thing. But it's always been a comfortable experience. I haven't had any problems with that, but it is something that is in the back of my mind.
And, Mike, tell us what happened. Was it yesterday or
Yeah,
Friday?
2 days ago. That was it. I told Craig, there's things that happen you can't explain. People ask me all the time, have I ever ghost experiences? And I tell them, honestly, I've never been tapped on the shoulder is the way I say it. But there have been things that happen that I can't explain. And one happened 2 days ago. It was 7:30 in the morning. I'm at home. I don't live here. It was at my home. I get a call from my security company, ADT Security. They say, Mr. Gladfelter, there is an alarm going off in your property. The motion sensor in the front room is kicked off. Would you like us to send the authorities, kind of deal? And I said, well, let me go over and check it out, and I'll call the police if necessary. So I came over here, did a perimeter, walked around, looked for any sign of any, entry into the property, nothing I could find. I walk in, and I'm thinking, okay, something fell off the shelf. Something, may have happened. There's not a thing out of place, but my motion sensor kicked off at 7:30 a.m. So what that was, I have no idea, Craig, but it certainly gave me pause. I had the hair standing up on my neck as I walked from room to room, checking everything out.
That'd be kind of scary, though, going to a place that you know nobody's supposed to be there and the doors have been locked.
Yes, you know, of course, as an owner, you want to check everything out. So you're looking in the basement, you're looking in the attic, and it's quite an experience. Yeah.
Actually, we were here. I came over a little earlier, Henry, and we were doing some EVP sessions, and we did get response. We couldn't make it out, but we were getting responses. And Mike and I were standing down here, and we heard somebody walking around on the second floor.
Really?
Yes, it was interesting. To dovetail with that, this past summer, one of my employees was upstairs in the restroom, and she's 27 years old, so she's an adult, and she came down with a very surprised look on her face, and she is not predisposed to being oriented toward ghosts. And she said, without question, she heard heavy footsteps in the hallway upstairs, and she described it as boots walking down the hallway, which, who knows? Just one of those fascinating things.
That is very possible. I know a barn that I used to go to that had been made into a studio. And I would go up where the loft used to be, and I did ask a couple questions, and all of a sudden you hear this boots on a hardwood floor walking around the room. The only problem is it's all carpeted now. So, yeah,
that'll get the ghost out of your hair.
Oh, yeah.
And into your dreams.
Well, now, tell us, I guess you've kind of investigated more than once or twice there. Do you just investigate yourself, or do you have other people come in do it with you, or?
No, I guess the best way to describe my attitude towards this whole idea is that I was open. I never, ever did anything with respect to investigating ghosts or anything like that. But people approached me all the time. When we bought this, in fact, when we were doing the renovations, I was approached by a very nice lady, Cindy Smithson, who you'll meet later tonight with Sleepy Hollow Ghosts. And she struck up a conversation, and in that conversation told me that she is sensitive to this sort of thing, and I invited her in. And she came in with her husband. We took a walk through the house, and she immediately began picking up on presences in the home. And so that piqued my curiosity. Then a little later this summer, probably in June, I was also approached by two very nice people, Mark and Paula Anstein, with the Paranormal Vision Society. Yeah, they do this as a hobby of theirs, and they asked if they could come in. And we sat down one evening after closing from about 11 p.m. till 2 or 3 a.m. and went room to room, asking questions, using their listening devices, using their infrared cameras, and all those things that you folks know so much about. And we would walk through and ask and listen. That was very, very interesting because I left there thinking that nothing happened. Although I would see Mark, the gentleman who was coordinating it, write things down occasionally. He'd ask a question, and he'd write something down. I'm thinking, well, I don't know what he's hearing, but he heard something. So 2 or 3 weeks later, he called me back up, and he said, Mike, he said, you're really not going to believe what we've got on these tapes. And when he brought them to me, Craig, and I know you've listened to some of them, I was blown away. You ask a question, and you get a direct response. I have no explanation for that, although I thought it was, in fact, it was my daughter who really cemented it into my head, because I took the computer home. He could give me all the information. She's listening to it with the headphones, and she says, Dad, you got to hear this. And you put the headphones on. I was amazed.
Almost like Christmas morning.
Really? Yeah, well, I
is.
suppose.
It is.
But we've got 30 or 40 responses from that evening. It's incredible.
Yeah, because sometimes you sit all night and you don't get anything.
Yes.
won't get
So
anything.
when you do get EVPs,
Yes.
you do get responses to the questions you asked. It's just,
It's amazing.
Yeah. It really was. Yeah, direct responses, yeah. And then there's some, of course, you hear a clear voice, but they don't particularly make sense
Right.
in terms of the questions you asked or what may be going on. So, all that's interesting to me, too, because it still is a clear voice.
but interesting enough about that, if you do hear something that doesn't make sense to you, that usually makes you research
more.
And when you do research and you find that
Yes.
in on a paper somewhere, you're like, okay, now
Yes.
it makes sense.
Yes.
That's the message they were trying to get across.
Yes, and too, what we were doing today, Craig, we were walking through kind of following up on some of those responses, trying to elicit further information, which,
Right.
is a great way to do it too, I imagine.
Right.
So, roughly how many spirits do you think that is there?
Well, I tell you, it's difficult for me to say. I think when Cindy comes in later, you may want to ask her that, because I think she's very in tune to that. But I know in the responses that we've heard, I've heard children, I've heard female responses, we've also heard young male, and I believe we've heard some older gentlemen as well. So I would say there's at least 3 to 4 different personalities here. But Cindy, I think, could answer that better for you.
And we were, this was going to be a surprise to you guys. Sandy was actually supposed to be here tonight, but she got snowed in. And she was going to walk around and let us know who was here. She picked up children in the attic last time,
Oh, that,
and among others. So
Well, I hope
Sandy,
so. He gets splinters otherwise. Oh, wait.
Well, to tie in with that, of course, and I showed you this, Craig, we did find some children's toys in the attic.
Oh, yes, that was incredible.
It very clearly was used by children at one point with the things that we have found up there.
Have they ever been used to try and attract them to play with them?
We did during the session in June. We brought, I didn't have that one toy, but what I did have a bullet that I found on the property. So we did use that, and we didn't get anything in relation to that directly. But that would be something that would be great to do on a follow-up.
that
I'd
sounds
love to do that.
Craig, when you said that was Sandy Peters, you meant, right? That's Sandy,
Right.
not Sandy Moose.
Right.
right. Sandy Peters.
Sandy
Right.
Robertson, okay.
That might be a interesting thing if we was to get Dave over there and do an investigation with him putting it on Parax Vision
Oh, yeah.
broadcast.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
Mike sounds like he's all for it. I think
That'd be neat though. Yeah, we get about 4 or 5 people and Dave set it up and we could do a live right on Parax Vision.
Well, I'd welcome that. Just let me know.
All right, we'll talk to him. I'll twist his arm.
Now, TR in the chat room had an interestingly worded question. Does the cellar subspace bypass filter ever go off unexpectedly? I'm guessing that means motion sensor, because to me, when I hear subspace bypass filter, it's either Star Trek or Doctor Who. I don't know which.
We do not have a motion sensor in the basement.
So I guess it wouldn't go off then.
And now I'm telling you all my security systems, so that's not very good, I guess. Huh? Don't
Now
try
you know
to
how
come
to get in.
upstairs.
Now you know how to get in there, Craig.
Yeah.
Now
I keep watching the mantle, because that was one of the stories when I took my first ghost tour. We could see through the front door here, and they said there was little miniature toys, little figures up on the mantle, and they said, I don't know who owned this time. I think it was another business. Or
Yeah, most recently it was another business, yes.
They said they would come in and the figures would be moved.
I've
all the
heard that
time.
same child story here as well, that there were children and they like to play with the toys. I've heard that. I need to place some things in the attic, I think, and just see.
Yeah, place them in the attic and put like a little chalk mark
Yeah.
around them and see if they move.
Craig and I were up there today, and we pulled some silk material
That's
that
right.
we want to take
I
a
wanna
look at
find-
later.
Before I leave. Yeah, it looks like it's
Yeah.
possibly bloodstained.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. We have to see, but it's interesting.
that'd be really interesting like that. The Civil War over at Gettysburg always fascinates me anyway. I mean, because so many people dying with the death and all, and you walk out on the battlefield and just imagine yourself being there in the battle. It had to be a lot of horror stories with that.
Yes, unlike really, well, there's, of course, the Civil War was just a terrible war anyway, with the loss of life, 600,000 killed during those 4 or 5 years. But here in Gettysburg, just an amazing impact on this little town. And we're all very pleased to bring the history of what happened here to the people. It's wonderful to be able to preserve it for people to see.
And what fascinates me is that they didn't try to fix their houses up. They somehow knew that this would be history. And so the bullet holes,
Yes,
that just is fascinating to see.
After the battle, of course, there were a lot of people who did file to have the federal government reimburse them for battle damage. But it was, how did they say that? If it was caused by the Confederacy, they wouldn't pay the claims. If the damage was caused by federal troops, the federal government would pay the claims. And,
well, considering it was the North that started the whole nonsense, I would think that would be them to blame.
Come on now.
Well, that's why they call it the
War of Northern Aggression.
Northern
I
Aggression.
don't. Oh, come on now. I'm a Yankee.
So am I. I was born in New York and raised in New Jersey, but as more and more I studied it, since originally each state was sovereign, one state attacking the other was like England being attacked by Germany. That wasn't a civil war. They were essentially two sovereign countries within this continent fighting each other.
Yes.
Now, Kentucky, I understand, did sort of fight itself, so that was a civil war in Kentucky.
Now, were you originally from Gettysburg, or did you move there?
I moved here in 1992.
It's kind of like I've been there a couple of times, and I'd like to go back again, and because the last couple times, well, the only couple times that I was there was before I got into the paranormal. So I'd really like to go back and be able to investigate some stuff around there.
Well, there's so much to see here on so many levels, and you can spend some time really and not scratch the surface.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, Henry. My aunt and uncle was just down here for 3 days, and they never saw the battlefield.
Really?
All these shops in town. They just stayed in town.
Wow. Well, if you've got questions, don't forget private chat them to Jeff, Craig, or myself, and we'll get them right over. We do have a few EVPs that we're going to try and play in a little bit. So if you got headsets, you can get them ready. I think what we'll do now is take us a break, because this is our Halloween show. So we do have some other good things going on. So Craig, you want to, I guess, take us out? It's going to be, I don't know, 6-8 minutes, something like that. So
Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in to the Halloween edition of the Paranormal View on the ParaX Radio Network. We'll be right back.
welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the ParaX Radio Network. Glad everybody is here with us tonight, and some of you, I know it's a cold and snowy night, so just cuddle up by the fire and have fun with us tonight. No matter where you're listening from, if it's from around the world, please come over to para-x.com, click on the show chat button on the right side of the page, and click on the player button on the top of the page, and you'll be in with all these wonderful people, and you can interact with us and the guests by sending private chats to Jeffrey, Craig, or myself with questions. Appreciate that. Tonight, Craig is live from Gettysburg, and he is at the Twin Sycamores with Mike Gladfelter. So I want to welcome you guys back.
Actually, we have Cindy Smithson from Sleepy Hollow Ghost Tours right now. She has to get going here in a few minutes, so we thought we'd talk with her a little bit.
Oh, that's very good. Welcome, Cindy.
And then Mike will be back so we can play the EVPs and stuff after Cindy goes on her tour.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So welcome to the Paranormal View.
Thank you so much.
Now, you work with Sleepy Hollow Ghost Tours.
Yes, I do.
And is that a walking type tour, or do you guys ride in a little trolley or something?
No, it's a walking tour. I'm the psychic medium that does the ghost tour and the ghost investigations with it.
Well, now, how many?
See, Craig, they couldn't really get the headless horseman to drive the coach because he costs too much.
Oh. Now,
That's the wrong Sleepy Hollow, I think.
the wrong
yeah.
one. Yeah. Now, going around, how many places do you go to on your tour?
I would say I stop at about 4 historic places, give the history of it, the human interest of it, explain the paranormal world, and then take them to a very active location so they can communicate with ghosts themselves.
So most of the places you just tour it from the outside. You don't go in.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, does that operate 7 days a week, 5 days a week?
No, we do 4 nights a week, and it's usually from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes on Sundays, always on Saturdays.
Okay.
And they even toughed out the snowstorm. They're dedicated.
They bundle up good, huh?
We did.
Well-
It wasn't going to stop us.
You're also done up in like 1800s garb as well, right?
Usually, but not tonight.
Not tonight.
Oh.
Not tonight.
Now, when since you operate 4 nights a week, does people have to make reservations well in advance, or is there enough room for just walk-ups, you might say?
Well, there are reservations that come in, but we have to keep a careful count, and we also have people that walk in.
If
Now there,
Go ahead, Craig.
Cindy was telling me an interesting story about the gentleman the other night. It was the other night.
Some of the ghostly activity on my tours.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the other night, I take everybody out to the hot spot of activity, and I take copper dowsing rods because I'm a dowser, and copper dowsing rods are extremely effective at communicating with ghosts. Well, one of my guests' rod kept pointing to one side, and as I was watching, I saw a Confederate soldier come up and stand beside her, and her husband took a picture, and she sent them to me today, and it is the amazing amount of paranormal mist that is around her on the one side, and the second picture, 2 soldiers of paranormal mist above her head.
Wow, that'd be really interesting. Would you ever put those like up on a site or something that people could look at?
We are doing that. She gave us permission to do that.
And I just found out about this spot tonight, and we're not going to say because the well-known spots are already overcrowded with ghost hunters. So,
I agree.
so we're going to keep that a secret.
Dang, ghost hunters, get off my lawn.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, now at this time of year, yeah, absolutely.
I'll get Craig to take me there when I come to Gettysburg.
Deal.
Now, that was considered paranormal activity, but do you get other paranormal activity on some of your tours?
I do. Sometimes we'll get very clear EVPs. On one ghost tour is one I will never forget. We were up on Seminary Ridge, and I had just taken all of the tour guests across the field of the seminary, and we walked through residual energy from the Union artillery that was there. And you cross through that field and you go over to a sidewalk that is lined by trees. And as I was explaining the history there and the paranormal activity there, I turned around, and as I turned around, I'm staring straight at the seminary building. And I was just amazed at what I was seeing. There was paranormal mist across the steps, and I looked real quick to each side to make sure there was nothing else that could be doing it, and watched as this paranormal mist grew larger, grew heavier in that fog. And as I was watching it, I was tuned into it, and I see a face of a soldier looking back out at me in like a shocked expression. And then he came straight down that sidewalk, came straight through me and everyone behind me on my tour. It felt like you had just walked into a deep freeze.
Wow. Now, some of the places that you go to, What's some of the reported activity in those places?
Some of it is, well, we're by the East Cemetery Hill, so people that are staying in town, and I as well before I moved to Pennsylvania, early in the morning, you'll be able to hear like bugling, drumming, cannon fire. That's been reported by other people on my tours that are staying in that area. Then there's a lot of shadow figures that move across this field, which has been very strong the past 2 nights. And then the past week, the paranormal mist that we're getting and capturing on film is just astounding. It's so strong right now with the veil being very thin between the worlds.
So
Now, Craig has sensed movement, shadow people along the tree line. Where? What was that? Antietam? Was it, Craig?
Now you caught me off guard. I'm trying to think.
Sorry.
yeah, I think it was at the bridge. It was Burnside's Bridge.
Burnside Bridge.
Burnside Bridge. Okay.
Yeah, you were there with John Sobel and such, and you were actually sensing
Oh, okay. Okay.
movement
Yeah.
along the tree line
Right.
when you weren't
Okay.
drowning.
All right. Yeah, when I wasn't drowning. Right. No, I remember that was up towards the hill. Okay.
Right.
Well,
Now,
there's
Cindy,
a
what-
really good reason why you see shadows by the tree lines. There's
Because
a
they're
very,
ghosts?
very,
Oh, wait.
well, the trees, ghosts can pull organic energy from trees to form.
Right. Trees has energy. Everything does.
Trees, water, electricity, cameras, psychics, they can pull all from that. And when they do that, they will try to form to communicate.
Now, Cindy, on your tours, what is the, I don't want to say craziest, what's coolest, craziest thing that you've ever experienced?
How about most unexpected? That might work.
Yeah, or that.
Oh God, nothing surprises me anymore.
Well, when you do it, when you're here every day, I guess not. but-
No, it doesn't. Well, on one of my tours, I was by the railroad tracks up by the seminary that's by Lee's headquarters. And it was a private tour.
And that's the cut.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It was farther down the tracks than that. But the woman on that tour and we just looked at each other and we're looking straight in front of us and looking back at each other and finally say, "Are you seeing that?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm seeing that." And we get out on the tracks, and what is on the tracks? What looks like a entity shimmering in and out. And since college students cut through there all the time, I really had to zone in on what was in front of me, and it was a Confederate soldier. And when I'm trying to take pictures of it, the apparition doesn't come through. It's gold and white orbs that are outlining that whole figure that comes through. That was a shocker. Another thing that was a real shocker that was amazing to me is that my husband and I are Civil War reenactors. And we were at the Enview Plantation down in Southern Virginia. And it was a beautiful sunshine day. My whole battalion was on the breastworks. They had not gone out into the field yet. I scrapbook all the history for them, and I take the picture. I get it home, I put it on the computer, and I said, "Something's wrong with this." And I'm looking, and right underneath the Confederate flag, I see a physical straw hat that's bigger than their heads. And as I see that, I'm seeing the whole face, the uniform, the lines of the haversack, and I can look right through him to the woodpile in the back. I didn't see him that day. When I saw him on that picture on the computer, it's on Facebook, I was astounded.
Wow.
Now, the railroad cut, I've also had activity there. My camera batteries have died. And as soon as I walk to the top of the hill by the bridge, full power again. And I've heard that that's the last location that they found the freshest bones.
It is. I think it was in 2006.
Okay.
The park ranger had moved some dirt on an object he saw in the ground and realized it was a human bone. And then when that happens, those bones are sent to DC for DNA analysis. And it came back as a young man from that time frame.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I guess with so many dying everywhere, Probably some of them just got buried where they fell, and nobody knows where they're at. Probably so.
I would agree with you with that.
So I missed your surname. What is your name on Facebook, Cindy?
Smithson. Smithson, like Smithsonian.
Well, you got 5 mutual friends, so I'm guessing that's you.
Yeah.
With a pumpkin guy waving his arms.
Oh, my grandbabies.
Okay.
Now, Craig can tell you that Jeff writes up the show, and he'll link our podcast to it, and he'll tell you how to get there so you can read about the show after we get everything put up.
Yeah,
on
Jeff's
on
great.
the,
I've already got links to your Sleepy Hollow of Gettysburg tours, links and such like that on there and all.
Oh, that's cool.
now, on your tours, do you only do those at night, or do you have tours in the daytime also?
No, we only do them at night.
And how long does one of the tours last?
Usually about 90 minutes,
Okay.
about an hour and a half, sometimes over when on most of my tours I have people that stay behind that have a lot of questions.
Now, what time do they start?
At 9:30
It starts at 9:30. Okay.
and runs till about 11. Sometimes with all the questions we'll extend into 11:30 because I try to answer as many as I can. It seems like on my tour when they know psychic mediums on there, they want to go on that because they have issues that they're not quite sure of or had things happen that they're not quite sure of, and they will share what has happened to them with me, and I try to help them with it.
How did you get started into wanting to do a tour?
Oh my. About 20 years ago, we took our son, who was a little guy then, on a ghost tour at Harper's Ferry. And that woman was so good the next day that, when you walked in town, you felt like you knew who lived in each of those buildings. You got a sense of the town. And then when we moved up here to Gettysburg, I was friends with a couple of people that owned the tours, and they asked me to become a tour guide, and I did. But I really found my niche in my home with Sleepy Hollow. But that tour at Harper's Ferry was so good. It really, it made me think when we moved up here.
Well, you have a lot of activity there at Gettysburg, so a tour there would be a natural thing to do. And you guys do it in costume, period, when you can.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
they look
They
so
have
cool.
awesome costumes. I'm looking at her site and really
Well,
good costumes.
And
We
you
don't
have-
call them costumes. They're
I'm sorry. I should know better.
They're period attire, and they're authentic.
And your husband Frank was here earlier, and he
He-
dresses up as a Union
No, we're Confederate reenactors.
Confederate. Okay,
But
Confederate.
sometimes it's called galvanizing. The 82nd New York took the 1st Virginia's flag at Pickett's Charge. So sometimes we'll need to do Union, so they all have Union uniforms to do the 82nd New York. But we are the 1st Virginia Infantry Company D, my great-great-grandfather's unit.
Oh wow.
Do you have a bugle boy at Company D? Oh wait, that's the wrong one.
Now, I know there's a lot of people that has connections with the history going back to the Civil War. I've tried to look up some of my people, and I don't think any of them's ever been that far back. So I'd
I
have
need to do a little research over here next door.
Oh, to the RUP.
The RUP, yes.
Yeah. Well, that'd be interesting to see if there was a connection. Yeah. So, doing your ghost tours, I'm sure you get people from all around the world probably that comes in.
We do.
So
I would say about a month ago, we had 2 people come over from London to do the tours, and that was very interesting.
So have you had any famous people come on and take the tour?
No, not so far.
Okay, Craig. I guess that means you're not famous.
Well, we're
No.
just regulars. We're just the regulars here.
Just a regular Joe. I want to ask you, for old people like me, do you have jazzies that they can putter around in behind you?
No, I'm sorry.
What does that even mean? What? Jazzes? What?
A jazzy.
Don't ask
I guess-
me. I have no idea.
Yeah.
They're the little carts that the old people ride around in.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
I call them golf carts. I always thought.
Yes.
Oh wait, you mean those little scooters? Those
Yes.
Little... Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a lot of
Yeah,
people who are
there's-
so overweight out here that they can't walk on their own legs and they use them all the time. And
Oh.
I just refer to them as Davros as I try and go by.
Yeah, the one Seinfeld episode, George pretended he was injured or whatever, so he was in a jazzy.
Oh, okay. My husband's favorite is Seinfeld.
Oh. Now,
Seinfeld and I share the same day, April 29th birthday.
now when you go to do the tour and you stop and you start telling the history and everything, what's some of the things that you actually tell about the place? And I mean, you're doing it as a storytelling type thing, so.
Well, I try to share my life of connecting with the paranormal world so they can understand when we go to do the ghost hunting and investigating what they're going to experience and why. And then as a Civil War reenactor, I've studied the history for so long and the human interest side of it as well. So when I'm doing my stories, I try to tell them some parts of what the civilians actually went through in town, how they handled it, some of the fighting that's around the houses, the actual history. A friend of mine is one of the volunteers over at the Rupp House and has uncovered a lot of the history over there, and he shares it with me, and I can share that with the people on my tour.
I know where I'll be after the show.
Now, do you know who is it? The Ghost Soldiers? I know they've been around Gettysburg quite a bit.
Yeah, they have. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Matter of fact, Doug is in the chat room with us tonight. So
Hey, Doug.
yeah, they're a bunch of real nice guys. So I'll be nice to them now. Yeah, they are, and they was just on Cake Boss. They had a wonderful show there too about the Jersey Devil. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Ah, that is an interesting subject.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite place? I guess to kind of go to there to, I mean, not with a tour, but on your own. What area do you like to go to?
The most interesting and the most murkiest to me area of paranormal activity is Spangler Spring. That's one of my favorite places to go to.
Now, a lot
Mine too.
a lot of people that doesn't know about the battle in Gettysburg. Why don't you give a quick history of what happened there and why it's that way?
Well, on day one, when John Buford was up at the seminary, he was looking out, and Confederates had been in Pennsylvania throughout June and was keeping an eye out. And so to make that a quick story, the Union were winning the morning, Confederate won the afternoon, took over the seminary, came down Chambersburg Road, came onto Baltimore Street, chasing the Union soldiers down, took over the town. The Union could not stand and fight yet because their army is still in Tawnytown, Maryland, has not made it here yet. And it just keeps on rolling there because from Seminary, they go to East Cemetery Hill, and it just keeps rolling to Culp's Hill. Then you get to the next day of Pickett's Charge, and then the next day of the retreat. That's the very quick thing.
Now, wasn't there Spangler Spring is kind of special also because it was kind of like both sides were obviously very thirsty. So when the other side would go to the spring, the other side would kind of just like turn their head and say, "Go ahead."
There are so many gray areas in this whole war like that I would not be surprised.
I think that's a great story. I mean, even all this, terrible battle, they did have some compassion. They knew, okay, he's thirsty. I know what it's like, so I'm just going to look the other way while they get some water.
Well, there's another story that's written about the James River in Virginia. You had Union soldiers on one side, you had Confederate on the other, and they both wanted things that the other ones had. So the Union soldiers wanted tobacco. So they fashioned a boat, and the Southerners named it the Merrimack and sent over tobacco. And then the Confederates wanted coffee. So the Union would rename the boat the Monitor and send over coffee until the commanders saw they were getting too friendly and pulled them all back. There's a lot of human interest stories in the Civil War.
Hey, we can't have peace. That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
What kind of resolution are we talking here?
It would be like that, wouldn't it?
I came across a great old strip of Calvin and Hobbes online the other day where he just goes up to his dad and says, "How can soldiers fighting each other solve world problems?" And the dad is just blank face. He just has no response for it.
Wow.
There really isn't a response.
No.
Exactly.
No. The Civil War was a war that shouldn't have never actually been fought.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it had been brewing and boiling since the 1840s.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot to do with the slavery and stuff like that, but
Slavery actually came into that came in more when it started losing its popularity. It was mostly economically issues that were the problem.
I agree with that.
Right.
It was that you had really two separate countries. The South was really agricultural. The North was going through an industrial revolution.
Yep.
And it was just had become two separate separate countries.
Well, as I was saying before, each of the countries was essentially its own sovereign state. The distinction between France and Spain, and fighting each other doesn't constitute a civil war. It's just two different states fighting each other.
Well, now, the house where you're at, Craig, Twin Sycamores.
Yes.
Where is that located in correspondence with Pickett's charge?
It's I don't want to say middle of town, but it's on the strip. I call it the strip between Baltimore and Steinway. It's actually on Baltimore Street.
Right.
It is towards Pickett's charge. But when people say, okay, where did the battle take place? This whole town was the battlefield.
They was fighting.
I mean, people go out to the fields and say, okay, this is where the battle took place. No, this town was actually part of the battlefield.
Yes, it was.
So you just sort of expand your arms and say, "Look around," when they ask. "Where's the battle?"
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so we're on Baltimore Street. Like I said, I call it the strip because all the shops and everything are right down here. You can just park your car and walk.
Well, now, there was also a house there where a girl was killed, I believe, in the basement.
Jenny Wade.
Jenny Wade, she wasn't killed in the basement. Her body was taken to the basement.
Oh, okay. But where is that house located?
It's about 2 blocks up the street.
From there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Is that house lived in by? Is it a private residence today, or is it like a museum? Or
It's like a museum, and they do ghost tours in it.
okay,
And the hole is still in the doors.
Right.
That
Right.
the bullet.
that went through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they allow? I think Craig has said this before that they don't like letting paranormal investigators come into the places a lot.
It depends on who you know. It depends on who you know. Some people are more open to it, some aren't, but I don't think it's so unusual because I find it in other towns too.
I actually took a regular tour there and kind of stayed back. And I was upstairs, where you go through the hole in the wall. And I was by myself, and I asked, is there anybody here? And when I got home and listened to the recorder, there was a female voice that said, "In the basement."
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Now that'd be pretty interesting. The only, that's usually the way I do it too, because I never know anything till I get home and download it and start listening to it. But I'd like to be able to have something that I could be listening in real time, and if I catch something, then you could ask questions to go along with it or something.
That would be pretty cool. I live that way. I can hear them. They hear me. I can communicate with them. And my thing is to find something that's good that I can record so you guys can hear it.
Okay.
Hear what I'm hearing, see what I'm seeing.
Okay, next spring when it gets warm again, me and Craig's going to come down there and we'll pick you up, and we're going to go look for some ghosts.
Hey, that sounds good. I'm up for it.
We'll fix it up, because I talked to Mike about Dave coming in and putting a thing on ParaX Vision and then live investigation there. So we might be able to get a whole bunch of places like that.
I hope you do.
Yeah, never can tell.
Okay, that's now I'm hearing new interesting sound effects from my headsets. It sounds like somebody's blowing through one of those old jugs. Is that who? It's not me, because I'm holding my breath and I'm still hearing it.
Well, somebody else was saying that, sent me a private message or something or other, said it sounded something like that. I haven't heard it, so.
I haven't heard it either.
I've heard it I've heard it just then when I started talking, and I haven't. I've been going in and out, so I haven't been really watching the chat room to see if anybody else has. Karen with an eye says she heard it. But yeah, it's just that little poop poop kind of sound, like over the old drinking jugs kind of thing, the old XXX jugs.
Right.
We had two little children ghosts here a little while ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have told us.
Should have had her on the mic. Should have had them on the mic. Here, come be interviewed.
Yeah, we'll let them come talk on the show here. We're accommodating. We don't mind one bit. That's happened before, so we don't mind. Cindy, I do want to thank you. I guess you have to be going here before long to do your thing.
I sure do, and I want to thank you guys for having me.
Well, no problem.
Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, glad to have you on. So, well, like I say, we'll have everything wrote up, and you'll be able to see the link and go to it and see everything.
Now she gets to go out into the cold, dark night and see what she can find.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Yes, that's what it is too. Happy Halloween. So.
Yeah. Happy Samhain.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
We will be listening to some of the EVPs that Mike has sent in just a little bit. Our time is running on down, so we're going to be taking another break here in just a minute. Cindy, did you want to give out your site address and everything before you go?
Your website or
I don't have a website. If anybody wants to see the ghost pictures, they can look me up on Facebook.
Yeah, and that ghost photo is already linked onto the report page. I found it. It's cool.
All right. Jeff's on the ball. So that's good. So it just looks like a hat and a little face, and a chin, just sort of like all by itself out in the woods there at the tree line.
And you know the ending to that story. I know two park rangers down in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and they know about me, and I've talked to soldiers down there that are still buried down there, and I've marked the spots for them. Well, I sent this picture to the historian, park ranger of Fredericksburg, and he identified the uniform as that soldier was from North Carolina.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wow.
That's when this gift works great, when you get other
When you get
people
other
in
people.
there to find out who and why and what.
It sure does.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that is great when it works out that way. I tell you, a confirmation.
I like the
I
mist
agree.
over the fallen. I like the mist over the fallen soldier photo.
I have so many ghost pictures, I'd have to sit home and look and see exactly which ones you're looking at.
Well, the link to the ghost gallery is on the report page, and that specific link as well. So it got some pretty cool stuff.
Thank you.
All right. That sounds great. Again, want to thank you for taking the time to be on with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you ever so.
Yes, thank you, Cindy.
Uh,
Are we going to break now, or do you want to bring? We actually have.
Actually, I had a question
Craig?
for you,
Okay.
Craig. You had indicated earlier that the house was known for having blue lights. Is that was that blue lights like the way people keep bugs away or something, or?
No.
Or you
This
just-
was there were lights inside, almost like flashlights when they were blue.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like they were blue tinted glass or anything like that. It was blue lights behind regular panes of glass.
Yes, they were inside upstairs, and I always find myself. I'm even going to today. I'll stop and look and watch for them to see if I can see anything. It just fascinates me.
Cool. And it helps to clarify that you weren't actually looking for the red light district.
No.
Making sure.
that's is that blue light district or red light district?
I guess this would be the blue light district.
Blue is good. Blue is paranormal, so we'll stick with the blue.
All
That's
right.
why the TARDIS is blue. Oh wait.
Now, was you saying something about you had somebody else or something?
Yes, we have. Cindy has to go, so we have Cindy Codori, who owns and operates Sleepy Hollow Ghost Tours.
Well, is she got a little bit of time, or does she have to come on quick because she has to go also?
She has. Do you have a little bit of time?
I have a little bit of time. I'm here with you.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and we'll take a break first, and then come back and we'll talk with Cindy Codori, because she's got some interesting things to say. I know, dealing with her family, so that ought to work out real good. I'm going to have Jeff take us out here in just a second. Back. I know down in eastern Kentucky, when in the olden days, or older days, I should say, because I still remember them, when someone died, they didn't take them to a funeral home. They took them to the living room or parlor or something like that of someone's house. And they would sit up with them all night, maybe even 2 nights, maybe before they was actually buried. So just keep that in mind, because I remember stories that was told me many times, how the women would be sitting up all hours of the night, and all of a sudden they'd start singing them old spooky songs and everything. I wouldn't stay there, not me. But anyway, the song we got coming up, you'll see why I'm saying that. So, Jeff, why don't you take us out?
Okay, well, you're listening to the Paranormal View on para-x.com with our own Craig Rupp, broadcasting from Mr. T's Ice Cream at the Twin Sycamores in Gettysburg. So stay tuned for more with Cindy Codori. And earlier tonight, our guest was Michael Gladfelter, who only happened to sound like Brad Garrett. So stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the Para-X Radio Network. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, those in the chat room and those who are listening from around the world. And if you're listening from somewhere other than here, you can come over to para-x.com and click on the show chat button on the right side, and then click on the player button at the top of the page, and you'll be able to interact with everyone in the chat room and with our guest by sending messages to either Craig, Jeffrey, or myself.
So where are people listening to you from tonight?
I was just getting ready to say that. We have listeners tonight from the U.S., Canada, the UK, Norway, and the famous 6 others. So we want to get back to our Halloween show tonight. It is kind of live from Gettysburg, and Craig is there manning the microphones there. And
Did you just say it was? Did you just say it was kind of live?
yeah, he's kind of alive.
Am I kind of live?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's kind
Are
of.
we on a delay or?
Well, it is Skype.
Well, we
Don't
lucky
jinx
we're
it,
still on
Jeff.
the air.
Yeah, don't jinx it. Don't talk bad about Skype. We've been doing really good so
Oh.
far.
Yes. So, and I'm thankful for that. So we got another guest there. Why don't you go ahead and introduce her?
With us, we have Cindy Codori, the owner and operator of Sleepy Hollow Ghost Tours. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to welcome you to the Paranormal View. I was reading a little bit about you, and your family owned a house that was there, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
That would be the Codori farm.
Well, why don't you tell us the history about that and everything that went on there?
Okay, sure. The Codori farm was owned by Nicholas Codori during the time of the battle. He did not actually live in the farm at the time. He had tenants there, but it is the site of Pickett's charge, which of course was the culmination of the battle. They actually came over from Sicily, and they lived there at the time. Well, they lived in town, but a lot of history on that farm, a lot of history.
Now, was that, I'm sure that they was battling around that farm.
There was, all around it,
And
all around it.
How much damage did the farm itself sustain?
There's a good bit, there are a lot of bullet holes on the inside of the house. Actually, the house left the family back, I believe, in the 1950s. It's owned by the National Park Service now. I have been on the inside of the house, and there are still bullet holes remaining now.
Oh, wow. That's the problem. It's owned by the National Park Service now, which means absolutely no investigating. But there is stories out of that house. I've heard them, and that's another house that you pass along Baltimore Pike. I just, you look at it every time and think, man, I wish I could get in
Wish I
there.
could get in.
Is it still open to the public, or is it just here it is, go look at it, the outside?
It's
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
actually it's National Park Service employees currently live in it.
Oh, seems like I remember seeing something about that at one time. And those kind of houses, you just don't get in because it's considered a private residence, even though it's owned by the Park Services.
Correct. That's correct.
So, what was some of the activities supposedly that went with the place?
A lot of the noises, a lot of the sounds of soldiers. I've heard stories of mist around soldiers in the night. I guess your basic Civil War stories of the soldiers reappearing. They just still feel connected to the area, to the grounds.
The great one I heard, there was a teenage girl that was home alone, and I guess they had like a TV room in the basement, and she heard walking around upstairs, and she knew she was the only one home, so she called her parents, and they got a hold of the Park Service to have somebody come out and take a look, and they were walking around the house, and little known to her, she didn't know they were up there, so she was freaking out. They couldn't find anything. No evidence of anybody being there. The house was all locked up. So, what it was walking around up there, who knows?
You get a lot of walking like that in different places, and you just can't figure out where it comes from. I still think it's the people who was living there at that time. To them, it's still their house. So, yeah. Now, Cindy, I know we was talking quite a bit about the ghost tours and information on it and everything with the other Cindy. But you're the founder of it. what got you started into doing the ghost tour?
Well, I actually started them at a local bed and breakfast. I did them there for 7 years. Then my staff and I left and reopened under the name of Sleepy Hollow. We've actually been doing it 15 years. And we've just noticed over the years more and more people receptive to it. I won't say that they were quite as receptive 15 years ago. It was more seen as entertainment at that time. Now people are genuinely looking at it as they're accepting the possibilities of something else out there.
And I would assume that ghost hunters actually opened the doors up to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that and TV started the whole craze with, oh, I'm going to go look for a ghost type thing. Yeah.
Well, that and the fact we do give the history to back the stories that we tell. I guess one of the great things about Sleepy Hollow, I don't give my folks scripts. So they're not just standing out there reciting things back to the customers that I've made them memorize. They've put a great deal of time and effort into researching their own stories. They tell their own personal experiences, but they give the human interest to back the stories that they're telling. They really, truly want to paint a picture of what happened here during the battle, during and after what the townspeople went through.
Now, on the ghost tour, I noticed you've got quite a few people that works with you, storytellers and everything. On a tour, how many of those take part?
How many storytellers go? We
Right.
have about one storyteller per 25 people. And each storyteller has his or her own experiences, which is awesome because we like to say that the tours are not a cookie cutter of one another. You know, sometimes they might feel the need to go in one direction as opposed to another. More activity in some areas. It's more of a feeling. We do have one apparition that's seen quite frequently out on our tours in particular. Several years ago, one of my storytellers by the name of Nancy was actually out on a tour, and a lady approached her and questioned that every time Nancy stopped telling stories, someone actually stepped out of the tree line. And she was very curious, was this person someone that we were training? Was this someone, a new storyteller? And the funny thing of it is Nancy did not actually see this person. And she commented to the lady, she says, you know, listen, I don't see anybody, but, you know, I'll keep an eye out. So they continued along the way. And every time that Nancy would stop telling stories, this lady would come up and say, did you see him? Did you see him? To which Nancy, of course, replied, no, I didn't. And she says, well, what did he look like? And as the lady began to describe him, there was a familiarity to that Nancy recognized. And she said, you know, when we're finished, I want to show you something. So I need you to come along with me. And at that time, I had a huge picture of my storytellers that I kept on my table. And Nancy said, the person that you see, do you see this person in this picture? And then the lady said, yeah, it's him. Nancy says, no, ma'am, no, it can't be. Can you look again? The lady says, sure, but it's him. And she continues to point to the same man. And at that point, Nancy told her, ma'am, it can't be, because you see, I'm his replacement. He passed away 4 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And we have had many people see him. People that don't know one another, they come different nights. He passed away in 2001, and I still tell folks when they go out, I will tell them that, you know, this particular gentleman may appear. Don't be frightened by him. He is dressed in period clothing. No, he is not a storyteller in training. And I don't tell them if he was tall, dark, and handsome, if he was short, stout, what. I do not tell them. And I let them come back and they tell me. Sometimes they are describing him to a T. Sometimes maybe they're seeing another apparition, but they're not seeing this one. And I often tell them, if you think you have seen him, his name was Wes Rummel. He was the first storyteller I ever hired. He helped me to build this company. The day that he passed away, I said there would never be a tour that left this company that he wasn't on. I didn't realize how true that was.
Huh.
Man.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when he comes out of the tree line with a sign saying, get it right.
Get it right, huh? Jeff.
Well,
So, by doing the the tours, I suppose you're fairly well booked up pretty much all the time. Did we lose somebody?
I don't know. Cindy, are you still here?
Craig?
Craig? Did Craig fall down and go boom? Oh, I've got a question mark over Craig's icon. I think, Craig, did you fall down? No, I did jinx it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Let me see. It shows that he's still on there.
Yeah, no, I'm here. We have people coming in. I just want to find out what's going on here.
Oh,
Starting to get lively around here. So.
Oh, uh-huh.
With corporeal people, or
And he's dressed in uniform, so I wanted to make sure
Oh.
somebody actually?
that I wasn't staring at a ghost.
See, that's when you don't mute your microphone.
Oh.
Yeah, he thought that guy stepped out of the tree line.
Well, now, being fairly well booked up, I suppose you're kind of busy all the time then.
Fairly busy. Again, we're coming after Remembrance Day, which is the closest weekend to November 19th. This year, we will be closing November 20th. We will reopen again in March. We're open all the time for private tours. Of course, you can get that with one of our storytellers, or you can call and request to get Cindy, who spoke to you just before I came on, to go on a tour with our psychic medium. But all of our guides know their history really well. Most of them are Civil War reenactors. Most of them, even if they come to me when they first start, it's always funny. Sometimes they'll start working for me and they'll say, I don't really believe in ghosts. And I'll say, okay, that's okay. Within about a month, they pull me aside and they go, Cindy, I need to talk to you. And I always know what's coming. It's so funny because I always go and they'll start saying, you're not going to believe this, but yeah, okay, I believe it, because you cannot be out here 15 years and not have some kind of experience, some kind of personal experience, something you can't explain. It's a smell that might not be in the right spot. Sometimes it's fresh baked bread. You might not otherwise pick up on that. A lot of times it's the peppermint oil, because of course, I don't know, I apologize if I'm repeating Cindy, I don't know if she told you, a lot of times peppermint oil was used on the handkerchiefs the days after the battle.
Right, I've heard that.
The ladies would put peppermint oil on the handkerchiefs because if of course, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, you're talking
hot.
very hot.
Yep.
There were thousands, you had wounded and dead and horses. And if you can imagine in the heat of the first day of July, the first couple of days, it was horrendous.
Really
So you will pick up on that scent of peppermint oil or tobacco.
Wow.
Sounds,
At least you pick up on those and not the smell of decay that was disguising.
Right, right. That's true. That's the good thing. But what we often have to remind people out on the streets, they always want to know if I can guarantee them that they'll see a ghost. Of course I can't.
Right.
And if a tour company promises you that they can, you need to run from that, because we cannot. What we can tell you is we can take you to places where we've had experiences,
And,
where we have had things that, just
and
can be experienced by others.
Right. And give the history of it. That's
Correct.
The main thing. Yeah. So that's really a great thing, because the history there in Gettysburg is just awesome. So, being able to do that, does your people like go on speaking engagements also to tell the ghost stories or the stories of the history?
They have. I have a few who are, I have one gentleman who is a retired New York City fire chief. He was also a history teacher. So they're very well versed in what they need to know historically to back the stories. You need to have a good blend of both. That way folks know that we aren't doing what we call parlor tricks. Some of the ghost tours kind of go into that, and that's not what we're about. We are trying to do it as genuine as we can, because we really truly feel that what we do is a tribute to what happened here, to the lost lives and the souls that are still here. So we try to give a very good blend of that to back that. We know it's Halloween and we all love the Halloween, but we can't do Halloween 365 days a year.
Right.
You've got to do that authentic history to back those stories.
Now, are you an investigator also?
I'm not. I'm actually, no. It's something that through listening to some of the recordings that Mike Gladfelter has, who's been so generous to allow us to come in here this evening, I have listened to a few of his recordings, and I will say that definitely piqued my interest.
Really? All right.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you're sitting there with a guy who can take you around to get some EVPs and stuff also.
That sounds good. I do have a couple of paranormal investigators that are working with us now, and they do tours as well. And they're coming back with a lot of recordings that are just amazing. I have one gentleman that they literally are from the other side are calling him by name, and I had to ask him. I said, Harry, doesn't that freak you out? They're actually calling you by your first name. And he said, the first 3 or 4 times it did. Now he says it doesn't faze him at all. But they're actually telling him a lot of the history. He's asking them a lot of things. And they're really, all I can say is come on out, go on any of the tours, and you are definitely likely to have some kind of experience.
Well, that's very interesting.
Now, Henry, we have. Were you done?
I am done.
You're done. Okay.
Thank you so much.
I guess.
Here's your hat. What's your hurry?
Yeah.
Do you want to get some of her? Ask her some.
I do have
Cindy,
time for
some
that.
of your website information,
Yes.
some,
That's what I
contact information, so people can take your tours.
Right.
Absolutely. You can go to sleepyhollowofgettysburg.com, and we have a good description there of all of our storytellers. It will give you information. We are currently, the website is under works, but we are adding photos as often as we can. That will give you all the information. You can certainly give us a call to make reservations. Love to have you come and join us.
I wish I could get that logo off. Well, as Henry may have mentioned, well, the thing is that I write a report on each show we do, and we already have text links, but if I can get icons and logos, I can embed those in the page to make it look pretty. So I'm like, oh, I want to go to the Sleepy Hollow Gettysburg site and stuff.
Thank you so much. That logo, my husband actually drew him. I'm very proud of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it really well hidden. I'm trying to find it. I mean, the source code. I've been looking through the source code. I'm like, I gotta find it.
Jeff's good at that, though. Well, I do want to thank you for taking the time to be on with us.
Yes, thank you so much, Cindy. Appreciate you
My
dropping by.
pleasure. My pleasure. Tonight's kind of one of those crazy nights. Who ordered up this snow in October? I don't know. So with that, I'm going to get back out doing the ghost tours and make sure that everything's running smoothly for the next tour going out. And I'm going to turn this back over to Craig.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Craig, you got Mike coming back on now?
Actually, before Mike, real quick, the other Cindy sent Deuce in. Now, we're going to have Deuce tell us a little bit about himself.
Okay.
Welcome.
Hello,
Hello. And what is your name?
my name is Deuce.
Just Deuce?
Yes.
Just Deuce. Huh?
He's
Somehow
undercover.
that's not on your birth certificate. I'm just saying.
Well, my birth certificate name is Charles, but I go by Deuce.
Okay. What is it? Are you one of the tour guides or?
No, I was asked to come in this evening by Cindy Smithson.
Okay.
We've been to Gettysburg since June. This will be our 4th trip, and every time we come down here, we take a tour with Sleepy Hollow Ghost Tours, and we at least take one with Cindy Smithson each time. And she asked us tonight, because we are taking one tonight, if I would mind coming in and speaking to you all.
Well, great. Now,
Happy to.
when you go out on the tours, I know that they're informative, but have you ever had any activity when you're doing them?
Every time we go out, we've had activity.
Really?
The very first tour we took, we had, she takes us up by the Rupp House, and the Rupp House, we got several photos of soldiers in the windows up there. Actually, the second tour was probably the best evidence we've got, because we had gotten a video camera and we had a shadow figure on video, and Also, we have an EVP that when I ask them what side they fought for, you can hear the very clearly say Confederate, and you can follow a gunshot right after that.
Wow.
A gunshot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
yeah, those are great to be able to get something like that. Yes, absolutely. Now, are you from Gettysburg?
No, I actually live in Maryland. We live about 2 hours from here, right, about 40 minutes from Annapolis. But we come here very often. I mean, it's like me, I come with my mother a lot because she does this with me a lot, and this is like our home away from home.
Wow.
I can understand that.
Oh yeah.
It's a great place to come. I mean,
That's Craig's home away from home also. Now,
Have you ever been touched or?
yes. Matter of fact, the second tour we took, we were, I want to make sure I get this correct, the one of the streets down there, it's in between the old jail and I believe it was a church or a school building. I was facing one building and my mother was actually facing the other one, and my mother turns around to me all of a sudden and says, "What?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Did you just tap me on my shoulder?" I said, "Mom, I'm facing the opposite way of you." And what had happened is somebody had tapped her on her shoulder and tapped me at the same time.
oh,
So it was just like,
yeah.
it was like, it wasn't me. And she was like, it wasn't me. So
Now, are you an investigator?
I do, yes, we do investigating, obviously here a lot. And down where we live, I do a lot. I work over, like I said, I live in Maryland, but I work at the Naval Academy. And I work at their water plant, and their water plant is actually a site of an old 1870s hospital that was there. So I do a lot of investigating at work a lot. So
Well, that's great too, because usually you get a lot of stuff in old hospitals too. So
yes, very much so.
So what's the craziest thing that ever happened at the hospital to you personally, or you've heard?
Two things that really stick out in my mind, and the first one's kind of funny. There's certain areas in the building that we always leave our lights on, like the bathroom, obviously. Well, I go in one night and I use the bathroom. I come out about an hour later. I go back in to use the bathroom, and I walk in and I'm standing there, and I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right. Somebody had turned the light off on me. I turned it back on, went out. What I had to do? Came back, went out, went in about 2 hours later to wash my hands. Light was out again. So me, I'm not shy about it. And I stood right in the middle of the room and I said, "Look, guys, I don't care if you play around, mess around, do whatever." I said, "I ask one favor." And they were like, and I was like, "Do I say it?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Just do me one favor. You can turn the lights out all you want, just don't do it while I'm using the bathroom." And they respect that. They've turned them out several times on me, but not when I'm using the bathroom.
not by using the bathroom. That's
And
great.
the other experience I have, we have a door that goes out to our loading dock where we get our shipments of chemicals in. And during the summertime, if there's a breeze blowing, the door will rattle and shake a little bit. But it was a summer night, no wind blowing at all. And we always keep it locked at night. Well, I hear the door rattling, and I got up out of the office, and you could literally see the doorknob turning and the door being pulled open. And all I did is I just leaned over. I said, "Look, the door on the other side's open. Just make sure you close it behind you." It's a very unique place to work. And it's fun now. Like I said, the whole Naval Academy has a history to it. So
Right. It would.
History.
Yes.
Now are you going on the tour at 9:30
Yes,
or okay?
9:30.
Or okay.
like I said, she asked me to come in to sit here, so I'd be more than happy to.
Well, great. We're we're glad you dropped by, and I'm sure Craig will give you the website address, so you'll be able to come back to ParaX again, listen to the Paranormal View, and he'll give you the links to Jeff's site, so you can listen to the podcast.
Wonderful. That
Yeah,
would be
absolutely.
Excellent.
So tell your friends you were on the radio tonight. So
I will absolutely tell them.
well, thanks for stopping by. We really
Well,
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it too. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Have a good time tonight.
And thank you. Our time is dwindling down pretty fast. Do you have Mike back with us?
Yes, we do.
Welcome back, Mike.
Oh,
And-
give it 1 second. He's getting fitted up here.
Okay. I just want to say that we have promised a few EVPs, and so you can get your headsets ready because since our time is running down, we are going to try and play a few of these EVPs for you, and we'll let Mike tell you about them and how he got them and what was going on with them.
Sure. Just to take everybody back, we had done these back in June. Mark and Paula Anstein came in and we walked through the house. It was 3 hours after closing. We moved from room to room and asked a lot of questions. And to my surprise, when the tapes came back, we had a lot of responses. And I think you have, Henry, I think you said 3 or 4 different ones for the audience to hear tonight.
Right. I've got them on here. And what we'll do is I'll let you know which ones they are.
Sure.
And then you can talk about them. Let's see here. I have to look on them and see where they're at here. All right. This first one here, it was titled Don't Leave Me.
Yes, just to set the scene for your audience on this one, we were sitting in what would be the front parlor room, fireplace room of the house. We were, of course, this is an ice cream business, so I have lots of machinery that runs and makes a lot of noise. We were sitting in this room for about 20 minutes, and all of my compressors shut off at the same time, which is not unusual. And at that point, I said, why don't we move to the next room, because it's about as quiet as it's going to get. Now, you don't hear me say that, but that's what I said right before this EVP occurred. So I just said that, and this is what we heard.
All right. Put your headsets on.
I should tell your audience, I should have said, don't be distracted by the loud noise at the end. That was our chairs. I had just said, let's move to the next room, and then you hear that loud rumble is the chairs being pulled out as we're moving to the next room.
Yes.
None of us heard that female voice, that pleading female voice that you just heard.
And it says don't leave, and it's right before that.
Don't leave me.
That's clear
what
as
I
a
heard.
bell.
Yes.
So listen to it again. And as clear as day, don't leave me.
It is. It
And that
truly
was
is.
in this room.
In this room
In
we're
this
sitting in
very
right
room we're
now.
in right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
There you go. All right, Craig.
I'm
I don't know what to
watching.
tell you.
I keep watching the fireplace mantle for something to move and
Mike,
chairs.
you weren't on the headset earlier. I heard in my headset, and someone in the chat room independently heard what sounded like a little breath of air puffing over like an old type of jug.
Okay.
Not exactly playing music, but have you ever experienced any sounds like that there?
I have not. There seems to be quite a variety of things that have come back on what the list you're going to play tonight, and that certainly wouldn't surprise me, but I have not heard that, no.
Well, I have.
This second,
Thanks.
the second one I have is called How Did You Pass?
Yes, this one we were upstairs. We have one of those long balconies that goes the entire length of the home. We were walking out towards the balcony, and the researcher, Mark Anstein, he had done a lot of work here in the house, on the house, the history of it, and he had said, and you will hear him say this, I've been told that someone passed in this room. Now, keep in mind, we didn't hear this answer. So he proceeds on, and he says, can you tell me how you passed? You'll hear 2 EVPs here. You're going to hear one that I hear as a child saying, who? And then as he concludes his question, you're going to hear the answer to the question, how did you pass? And maybe your audience can pick it up the first time. I'll tell you what the answer was. Let's see if they can pick it up the first time.
All right, here we go. You have to listen close because it's right at the end, and it's kind of faint, so you might have to turn your sound up all the way.
I hate to ask how, but how did you pass?
It's
Okay.
very faint, but it's clear as day. You can hear it real easily.
And the answer was, of course, I think your audience can probably hear the who very clearly. Just after that, the word arsenic comes back.
Yes, and it's right at the end, so it's real low, but you can still hear it. So I'm going to play that again for you. So listen real close.
I hate to ask how, but how did you pass?
Right there at the end, arsenic.
Yeah,
Clear
that
as
one
day.
shocked us. And I don't believe you picked this one up, but downstairs we had asked the question again. Through research, we found that there was a man by the name of Samuel Forney who lived here. And the question was asked, is there a Samuel here? And we get a yes response to that. And to me, that yes response sounds very similar to the voice that just said arsenic, which would be fun to research if it's at all possible.
Now this next one is listed as "Listen to Me."
Forgive me, you're going to have to let me hear this one.
That was in the attic, I believe.
Okay, yes, if you would just play it.
All right, listen close to it now.
This wallpaper, obviously somebody.
Yeah.
Better remember this.
Yeah, they did too, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's kind of right in over top of you talking right there toward the end.
It was a little child.
Yes, exactly.
The
Yeah, I
little-
get a
the
child's
little
voice
Mimi.
there.
Yes.
Yes.
Listen to me.
Yes, that's what I hear.
Now, that was in the attic.
Right, that's correct. Before that, I did have that broken out, and what we hear is Ed, listen. It's whispered. And then at the end, you hear this, what sounds like a child saying Mimi, if you will.
Okay.
All right.
Well, now, when Sandy was here, she picked up that said there was a lot of kids that lived in the attic.
Yes, and as we said earlier, we found the toys in the attic
Right.
that are still there to this day. So I'm certain there was a child presence up there.
Absolutely. Well, that just proves it.
All right, I'm going to play this one again, so listen close.
This wallpaper, obviously somebody.
Yeah.
Better remember this.
Yeah, they did too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Very clear.
It almost sounds like you're saying, "Excuse me."
It does. Yeah, it's certainly up for interpretation. I hear an Ed listen, a whisper. Right after I say wallpaper, somebody says wallpaper. It's right in there.
Now, the last one that I've got for this is called Good Night.
Yes, that one is also, I believe, in the attic. And if it's the one I think it is, I hear, more or less a computer sound, if you will, an electronic type of sound. But then it seems to be refined again and comes back in a female good night, if this is the one I'm thinking of.
Right. We'll play it and see if that's the one. So listen close.
It's 1:15, Mark.
Yeah, that was 2 hours already.
Yeah. We'll head down to the basement. And then we'll head down to the basement.
Yeah, right at the end, you get a fairly clear female good night all.
Good night. Right.
Prior to that, you get something that sounds like more of an electronic generator, but it has more of a computer sound, is the way I can describe it.
I heard voices talking behind you 3 or 4 times in that.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll listen again to that one. So turn up your headset. We're going to do it one more time here.
It's 1:15, Mark.
Yeah, that was 2 hours already.
Yeah. We'll head down to the basement. And then we'll head down to the basement.
Yeah. Good night all.
You get that?
Yep.
You get the good night all?
Right at the end. Yep. It's,
Yeah, I heard it better the second time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once you hear what you're listening for and where it's at, yeah, it comes in a whole lot clearer and plainer. So.
It's a lot better than like when Zach Bagans has, just you say, "See, it's reciting the Gettysburg Address," and
Yeah. Let's not go there, Jeff.
Henry, you don't
TV
have
shows.
access to that hello, how are you in the office, do you? I think that's just fascinating how that one came down. It's office,
Yeah.
hello, how are you?
I got it. We'll try and see if they can hear that on here. We'll try that
Okay.
one. All right.
I'll give you the sequence. Play it once and I'll tell you what happened because
All right.
it's fascinating how it all came down.
Oh, that's with the K2.
That's correct, with the
Okay.
monitor.
Here we
Yeah,
Yes.
go.
that's a good one.
Right at the beginning you'll hear it.
Can cameraman EMF go off?
Sometimes.
It jumped up to like 3.9.
Okay, let me explain to you what happened there. We're sitting in my office upstairs. A woman took a flash photograph, and another woman was holding a monitor. Craig, you know what they're called?
K2.
A K2. And her monitor immediately after this flash jumped up. And she asked the question, and you hear her ask, can a flash make this monitor jump? And the answer was yes, it could. But no one heard the hello, how are you before it. until we got the recording back.
So it's
So it
kind of
all
like-
happened in sequence. So whether it was the flash or it was this hello, how are you? Who knows?
All right, listen close. We're going to do this one more time here.
Can camera make the EMF go off?
Sometimes.
It jumped up to like 3.9.
Right. The hello, how are you? Right before she asked about the
Yes.
flash. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Excellent. Excellent EVPs. You can hear those real clear. Mike, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Sounds like that place is just loaded with activity. Like I say, I'll talk to Dave and see if we couldn't schedule something maybe in the spring or something.
That would be fantastic. Just let me know.
We'll keep in contact with you, and I'm sure Craig's down there all the time, so he'll be talking with you, and maybe we can.
Oh, I'll stop in here every time. The ice cream is great.
Thank you for that. We make it right here. Stop in. We've
Homemade
got
ice
ghosts
cream.
and great ice cream.
Yeah, there you go. So if you take a trip to Gettysburg, stop in, get ice cream and a spirit. Yeah.
There you
There
go.
you go.
That's right.
One spirit with every scoop of ice cream.
Hey, you never know in here. Careful what you wish for.
That's right.
Excellent, excellent. So, yeah, it's. I want to thank you for letting us be there with you tonight and talk about your place, and I want to thank both Cindy's for being on. It's real interesting over there. Of course, I know they're going to be real cold tonight with all the snow. We've already got your websites and everything, right?
Yes, you do.
Jeff's already got that.
Yeah.
Would you like to give them again in case somebody else has come on and hasn't heard?
Actually, you can look us up on Facebook at Mr. G's Ice Cream and visit us
Gettysburg.
there.
Make sure you get it in Gettysburg.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah, I was in South Carolina. Where's the Civil War battle going?
So, yes. Did you guys get to listen to the seance the other night? Either one of you, Jeff or
I did. I said.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Essentially, so during the first hour, all they did was talk, and then they did
Then they
during
got started.
Marla's
Yeah.
hour. They went into the thing. So all Tim channeled was two entities. One being the really, ticked off one that's in the promo,
Right.
and we were all like, "Oh, here we go again, Mr. Soapbox."
Yeah.
But it was pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting, yes. I liked it. So, I do want to let everybody know that next week we will be having the group Erie Paranormal Investigators Community, which is the group EPIC out of Cleveland, Ohio. And they are the winners of the Paranormal Challenge at Waverly. So we will be having those girls on next week. So, Jeff, why don't you give us all our things so we can get out of here, because our time is just about out.
Oh yes, it's obviously on my website jeffgould.net, GEOFF/2011PNV.htm is my website page, which will get you all of the recorded shows that we've done this year, links to the respective shows report pages, on which there are links to like Mr. G's Ice Cream and all of the stuff that was on tonight. It has its own page. We're also easily findable on Facebook, The Paranormal View, and we're at theparanormalview.com. And certainly buy your Paranormal View apparel at Real Badger Store, Cafe yeah, it's on the stupid page.
All right.
CafePress.com/real CafePress.com/Real Badger Shop. I'm going to put that on the top of
All
this
right.
one.
This is Henry Foister.
Craig Rupp, happy Halloween, everyone.
Jeffrey Gould, happy Samhain.
And we will see you next week, same time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
We're gone. Paranormal View. Come back and visit us again if you dare. You've been listening to the Paranormal View on the Para-X Radio Network.
The Paranormal View.